The first step you want to do is you can notice I'm very lightly making a quarter grid. And we definitely want that quarter grid to get erased later. You can see here I'm looking for the center of the bow, which is where I'm going to start right in the center of my paper. And I'm concentrating just on the shapes that I see from the bow. So you might see a lot of triangles or rounded triangles and curves. And if I start from the center, I can continue to work my way out from shape to shape. You can see here that I'm also looking at negative space. So this little section right here is actually a hole that's going to help me create the end of the bow and make sure that I have good proportion and scale. You can also notice that I am going in layers. So now I'm working on another outside layer, continuing to work around the bow first. Also notice that that layer of the ribbon part of the bow is changing shape. So now these bows are starting to be a little bit more flat and maybe a little easier to draw. And if I continue to work around the outside of the bow, then I'm continuing to also keep it in the center of that grid, in the center of that square paper. So as I continue to work around the bow, you might be noticing that every layer of those ribbon parts are similar in shape. So it might be easier to just kind of repeat them, but also continue to really look at your subject and study those shapes that that bow is creating. If you run out of room and you can't get to the last layer based on your visual, based on your actual object, then it might actually look okay that you continue to center everything and it would look complete on your final, but not necessarily complete from the original bow, and that's okay. You can notice here I'm kind of going back in between and putting those last little ribbon folds in between some of the bigger ones so it looks like I've got another layer underneath, and that might actually help adjust the overall contour drawing. Remember, lines, shapes, and also looking at your negative spaces to help you. And it's not going to look 3D until we actually start working with the values.